Hey guys, this is Tauna, and today we have a slightly new layout. I hope it looks good. It looks pretty good on my side, so hopefully it works for you guys and stuff like that. We're trying to aim to make sure that cards aren't covered and stuff like that primarily. So we're mostly going to be talking about why Bloomburrow is amazing for Commander and why I absolutely love so many of the mechanics and everything like that for Commander. I just think it's a really, really great set for it. Possibly like one of the best sets of recent times for Commander, to be honest. Like it's absolutely amazing. All right, so we're going to start off, talking about a whole bunch of the different mechanics and cards and stuff along those lines. The first one we're going to be talking about is Gift here. Gift is just an amazing mechanic for Commander. It's just really good for politicking at the table, allows you to give the gift to anyone. You don't even have to give the gift to the person that you're affecting with a spell. If it's like gift a card to remove a card or something like that, you can give the card to whoever you want. They just also got some very nice modal kind of stuff going on here that can be used for a lot in the future, which I think is really, really cool. So some examples like here, Cruel Claw's Heist here. So this is you look at someone's hand, you exile a card from it. If you gave someone else a card, let them draw a card, then you can play that for as long as it remains exiled and use any mana type. But the fact that it's got the two different modes here, but the part that I like the most here is that I can gift the card to that person if I want to, and then they're going to draw a card which you can then remove, or you could gift it to someone else. Purge protection is very interesting here, giving you the option of either, giving a turn to be able to do something, or just creating a whole bunch of 2/2 blue birds. Octomancer, this is a very interesting one because gifting something here absolutely does nothing towards this part, not directly at least. It's not like if you did the gift or anything, it's just you get to create an octopus because they got an octopus. The scrap shooter here is really cool too. Gift a card, but if you don't gift something, then it's just a 4/4 with reach. One thing I really love about this set is the fact that it kind of was a tribal / kindred set, but not. There's a bunch of very interesting commanders and tribals that go into it. And while the set isn't designed as primarily a kindred based set, all of the animals of a certain type work well together. So all the otters work well together, all the mice, etc. This opens up just a lot of previously impossible or underused decks built around a creature type. So like previously you couldn't really build an otter deck. Now you can. You can build a really great otter kind of spell slinger deck here. So some examples, what I'm talking about here is like Mabel and Gev. They both kind of care about lizards and stuff. Gev doesn't necessarily need to be in a lizard deck, and neither does Mabel, but they care about, lizards, mice, etc. But then there's other stuff like these guys here. They don't care about, other mice or anything. They just buff each other up because of, the way the mice are built in this set. So you don't need, even to have other mice for Heartfire Hero to kind of pop off. Patchwork Banner. Patchwork Banner is just such a great EDH card. It's insanely good in just so many different kindred or tribal decks. It works as both an anthem and a mana rock for that, and overall, in my opinion, it's just quite underrated and could fit into nearly every deck built around a creature type. You could potentially replace Arcane Signet with this in some decks. In fact, it costs one more mana, but to get the additional +1/+1 out there and stuff, it could potentially be worth it. 3 Tree City here. It's similar to Patchwork Banner in regards to it just being potentially a very big staple. And I think that, in any deck that's going to be built around a certain creature type, this could go really, really great. Elves alone would be able to generate more mana than you could do anything with. I need this for like my Pantlaza deck, for my Miram deck, for so many different decks. And it's not like, it counts creature tokens as well, so it's really good. The Imagined Critters. So first up, before I get into the Imagined Critters, they're awful that they are only collector booster only. They should have been like a bonus sheet, like the crime one in OTJ. The excuse of, oh no, they're going to break limited if you do that, I don't entirely agree with, because OTJ did it and it was okay there. maybe they learned from OTJ, but I don't know. I don't exactly like it. Anyway, but it is really good to see some reprints for older cards. And the best part is that they are actually themed around the set as well. That's what I really love, is that they got these cards, they reprinted them similar to special guests and stuff like that. They actually theme them around the set. So, you know, you've got Teferi as a bird here. We've got Nissa as a frog, etc. And so some examples here of why this is great with Teferi is that the Teferi from Bloomburrow is now $4. The Teferi previously is already way more than that. But the big thing is that these other cards are going to go down in price now because there's just more availability of them. The Precons, similarly to that, is the art changes in the Precons were just really great. Redoing some of the art for staples to fit the aesthetic of the Precons is really sweet. The Precons themselves are great, built well. They have a great mana base and they have great themes. The only one I will question is the group hug one, but that's because group hug is a bit more advanced and it isn't labeled as more advanced or anything like that. So if you're a new player and you go and pick up a Precon, you're like, hey, look, funny rabbit. That funny rabbit now is like going to be a more difficult deck to play than something more straightforward, like, you know, the bird that makes everyone have more babies. So some examples here are like the Beastmaster Ascension and the Chaos War. Both had new art for the commander packs and just, like, you know, fit the actual set and stuff. It just really is great. New classes. There was a bunch of new classes which fit easily and become easy staples, I think, in certain deck archetypes. In Commander, you have more mana generally, so upgrading a class is a bit easier too. So like something like the Gossip Talent, it's not going to take you all that long to get that up to a level 3 now. Some of them are very strong, and I feel that they explored classes a lot more in this set than previously. So some examples here are two insane ones. These ones are going up in price a lot. The Innkeeper's Talent here, because it's got essentially, you know, doubling all the counters, giving permanents with counters award, giving, like, handing out +1/+1 counters, really great. The Caretaker's Talent here, this part here is great. Card draw, getting to create a token that's a copy of a target token you control is insane. And then giving all your creature tokens +2/+2 is really good too. And there's some other ones within the Precons as well. The offspring mechanics, so to repeat myself, in Commander, you generally just have more mana open to be able to do stuff. Having the option of creating 2 of something is just really nice. But the other part about this that's good for Commander is that there is a bunch of ways to be able to deal with the offspring as well within Commander. Whether it's deal 1 damage out to all your opponents, or whether it's put a -1/-1 counter, or something like that, just to be able to kill off those 1/1 critters. There's a lot of ways to be able to deal with them as well, which is something that is really great in Commander. A lot of area for them to play around with the offspring mechanic as well in the future, whether it comes back as offspring or some other name, who knows, but either way, there's a lot of area that they can play around with this in the future. So some examples of really great ones: Coruscation Mage or Darkstar Augur here. Both of them, if you have 2 of them out, they're going to be really valuable. If you had one out, it's not too bad, but 2 just makes it just so much better. It's also relatively cheap. Like, Bloomburrow is going to be relatively cheap for quite a while. Now, I did say, you know, there's some cards that have been going up in price, and there's some cards that are going to potentially stay around that, you know, above that $10 mark. But overall, so many cards from this are cheap to be able to get. This set is going to be open forever and ever, and people are going to be heralding it as one of the best sets of all time, as at the moment they are already, like, talking about how this is one of their favorite sets in either of all time or just even within recent sets. It's also just a very fun set, which again means people will open it. It's not exactly a very fun set to open, I will say that, you know. It's not like it doesn't have super duper bangers like OTJ did, or it doesn't have like the Surveil Lambs like MKM did or anything like that, but it is a fun set to play with. There's other cards in here as well that are going to be really great in EDH. Mockingbird is bonkers strong and really great. Innkeepers and Caretakers Talent are as well. There's just some really cheap versions of some big staple level cards as well that, while they might be slight downgrades, are still really good. So like Mockingbird is just really crazy strong. Having a look at one of those ones that I was talking about then, the example here, in my opinion, Dawn's Truce and Heroic Intervention. Dawn's Truce, it's a very similar card to Heroic Intervention. In fact, this also makes it so you are hexproof, while Heroic Intervention doesn't. But it also, you do have to gift a card to be able to do that. It's also in different colors, but allowing you to gift a card is also not going to be necessarily a bad thing. The seasons are great. These are modal spells that are always really nice. Modal spells are always really, really great. And these are not exceptions. All of them have things that the color wants to be doing. They're very flexible, as they all have that 5 pause that you can spend. So you can go make 5 rabbits if you want to. You can make exile a target card, a creature, and then make 3 rabbits. You can do whatever you want with them. So these are the 5 different ones. You know, they all kind of fit in with whatever color they are, and most decks of that color could potentially use these. So thanks for watching. Let me know down below what your thoughts are, and remember to subscribe. Have a great day and goodbye.